in the quiet hush of this moment, as the day gently yields to evening, or as you simply seek a pause in your relentless pace, I invite you to step into a sacred space, a sanctuary not built by hands, but woven within the very fabric of your being. Look around you, feel the weight of the day, the echoes of worries, the clamor of expectations. Perhaps your mind is a restless sea, or your heart carries an unspoken ache. It's okay. You are exactly where you need to be. This is an invitation to stillness, an invitation to surrender, an invitation to connect with the deepest wellspring of peace that lies within you and beyond you in the boundless love of the divine. For too long, perhaps, you've chased peace in the external world, seeking it in achievements, in relationships, in distractions. But true peace, the kind that anchors your soul through any storm, is an inner grace, a gift from God. Today, we embark on a gentle, profound journey, a journey not of striving, but of receiving, a journey to release the burdens that steal your tranquility and to rediscover the serene presence of God, the ultimate source of all calm. You don't need to be perfect, or strong, or even entirely sure. You just need to be willing to open your heart, even just a tiny crack, as we begin. Take a deep breath, let it fill your lungs, and as you exhale, imagine releasing a sliver of tension, a wisp of worry. Feel the gentle rhythm of your breath becoming a quiet prayer, a silent turning towards the one who holds all peace in his hands. Welcome to this sacred space. Welcome to the journey of finding God's inner peace in the quietude of this moment. As the world outside continues its ceaseless dance, I invite you to turn your attention inward to the sanctuary that resides within the very core of your being. Here, beyond the clamor of daily life, beyond the relentless demands of your responsibilities, beyond the swirling currents of your thoughts and emotions, lies a space of profound stillness, a wellspring of untapped serenity. It is from this sacred center that a gentle yearning often arises, a subtle whisper that echoes through the chambers of your heart, the longing for inner peace. This yearning is not a sign of weakness, nor is it an admission of failure to cope with the external world. Rather, it is an inherent human desire, a deep-seated recognition of our true nature, which is inherently connected to a source of infinite peace and tranquility. Just as a compass needle instinctively points north, our souls naturally gravitate towards this inner harmony, this state of equilibrium where the noise of the mind subsides and the gentle rhythm of our being prevails. Perhaps you have felt this yearning as a subtle unease, a persistent restlessness that underlies your activities. Even in moments of outward success or apparent calm, it might manifest as a feeling of being stretched too thin, of being constantly pulled in multiple directions, leaving you feeling fragmented and depleted. Or perhaps it is a more acute awareness, a palpable absence of that deep, abiding peace that you know is possible, a sense that something essential is missing amidst the busyness of your life. Consider the myriad ways in which the absence of inner peace can manifest. It might be the constant chatter of your mind, a relentless stream of worries, judgments, and self-criticism that leaves you feeling mentally exhausted. It could be the surge of anxiety that grips you unexpectedly, the knot of tension that resides in your stomach, or the pervasive feeling of unease that colors your perceptions. It might even express itself as physical symptoms, sleepless nights, persistent headaches, or a general sense of being unwell. Reflect on the moments in your day when you feel furthest from this inner peace. Are they the times when you are caught in conflict with others, or perhaps when you are locked in an internal battle with yourself? Do you find your peace shattered by the constant bombardment of information and stimulation from the outside world? Or does it elude you most when you are grappling with past hurts or anxieties about the future? The yearning for inner peace often intensifies during times of challenge and adversity. When storms rage around us, our inner world can easily become turbulent as well. Loss, grief, uncertainty, and fear can all disrupt our sense of equilibrium, leaving us feeling tossed about by powerful emotional waves. It is in these very moments, when we feel most vulnerable and adrift, that the longing for a still, calm center becomes most acute. But even in the absence of dramatic, external stressors, the subtle pressures of modern life can erode our inner peace. The constant striving for achievement, the relentless pursuit of material possessions, the pressure to conform to societal expectations, and the pervasive influence of social media can all contribute to a sense of inner friction and dissatisfaction. We may find ourselves constantly comparing ourselves to others, caught in a cycle of wanting more and feeling perpetually inadequate. The path to inner peace begins with a conscious acknowledgement of this yearning. It requires us to pause amidst the busyness, to quiet the external noise, and to turn our attention to the gentle whispers of our hearts. It involves recognizing that this longing is not something to be dismissed or ignored, but rather a sacred call, an invitation to embark on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual reconnection for those who believe in a higher power, in the presence of God in their lives. This yearning for inner peace can be understood as a call to reconnect with the divine source of all tranquility. It is an invitation to seek solace and strength in a relationship with God, to surrender our anxieties and burdens to a loving and all-powerful presence that can offer a peace that transcends our understanding. This first step is simply to acknowledge the yearning, to give voice to that quiet longing within you, to recognize that you desire a deeper sense of peace, a more profound connection to your inner self and to the divine. It is in this simple act of recognition that we begin to open ourselves to the possibility of finding that peace, of allowing God's grace to flow into our hearts and to calm the storms within. Breathe deeply now and acknowledge that deep desire for inner peace that resides within you. Know that this yearning is valid. It is real, and it is the first gentle step on a transformative journey. Having acknowledged the deep yearning for inner peace that resides within you, the next step on our journey is to consciously turn towards the divine, to actively seek God's presence as the ultimate source of inner calm. This turning is not merely a passive wish or a fleeting thought. It is a deliberate act of intention, a conscious orientation of your heart and mind towards the spiritual realm, towards the loving embrace of the Creator. In a world that often encourages us to rely solely on our own strength and resources, the act of seeking God's presence for inner peace can feel both humbling and profoundly liberating. It is an acknowledgement that true and lasting peace is not something we can manufacture or control through our own efforts alone, but rather a gift, a grace that flows from a deeper connection to the divine. Consider the ways in which you might actively seek God's presence in your life. For some, this may involve dedicated time for prayer, for entering into a direct and personal dialogue with the divine. Prayer can take many forms. It might be spoken words, silent contemplation, heartfelt expressions of gratitude or supplication, or simply a quiet moment of being in God's presence for others. Seeking God's presence might involve immersing themselves in sacred texts, in the wisdom and guidance offered by Scripture. Reading and reflecting on the Word of God can provide comfort, perspective, and a deeper understanding of the divine nature and plan. It can serve as a source of inspiration and a reminder of the enduring promises of peace and love. Worship, whether in a communal setting or in the solitude of your own heart, can also be a powerful way to connect with the divine and cultivate inner peace through hymns, rituals, and shared expressions of faith. We can create a sacred space where God's presence feels palpable and where our hearts can be lifted in adoration and gratitude. Nature, in its boundless beauty and intricate design, often serves as a powerful reminder of God's creative power and the inherent peace that underlies the natural world. Spending time in nature, observing its rhythms and wonders, can help us to quiet our minds, to feel a sense of connection to something larger than ourselves, and to glimpse the tranquility that permeates all of creation. Acts of service and compassion, reaching out to help others in need, can also be a profound way to connect with the divine. When we embody God's love in our actions, when we extend kindness and generosity to those around us, we often experience a deep sense of purpose and inner fulfillment that contributes to our overall peace. Mindfulness and contemplative practices, such as meditation, can also be pathways to seeking God's presence. By intentionally focusing our attention, by quieting the internal chatter, we create an opening for the divine to enter our awareness. In these moments of stillness, we can become more attuned to the subtle presence of God in our lives. Whatever form your seeking takes, the key is to approach it with an open heart and a sincere desire to connect with the divine source of peace. It is about creating space in your life, amidst the demands and distractions, to consciously invite God into your thoughts, your feelings, and your experiences. As you turn towards God, consider what it is about the divine that resonates most deeply with your longing for inner peace. Is it the unwavering love and compassion that you associate with God? Is it the sense of ultimate wisdom and guidance? Is it the promise of a higher power that can offer strength and solace in times of trouble? Reflect on the attributes of God that bring you a sense of comfort and hope. Meditate on these qualities, allowing them to fill your mind and heart. Visualize God's presence as a warm and loving light surrounding you, enveloping you in a sense of safety and tranquility. Remember that seeking God's presence is not about achieving a perfect state or performing specific rituals flawlessly. It is about the intention of your heart, the sincerity of your desire to connect. God's love and peace are freely available. Our role is simply to open ourselves to receive them. As you actively turn towards the divine, you may begin to notice subtle shifts in your inner landscape. Perhaps the incessant chatter of your mind begins to quiet, or the knot of anxiety in your stomach begins to loosen. You may experience moments of profound clarity, insights that bring a sense of understanding and acceptance. Or you may simply feel a gentle sense of reassurance, a quiet knowing that you are not alone and that you are held in a loving embrace. This seeking is an ongoing journey, a continuous drawing closer to the source of all peace. There will be times when God's presence feels more palpable than others. There will be moments when doubts and distractions may arise. But the key is to remain steadfast in your intention, to continue to turn towards the divine with an open heart and a persistent desire for inner calm. For in that consistent seeking in that unwavering orientation of your soul towards God, you will increasingly find the peace that you so deeply yearn for. Having acknowledged the yearning for inner peace and actively turned towards the divine, the pivotal step on this journey is the conscious act of surrendering our burdens and anxieties to God. This surrender is not a sign of weakness or a relinquishing of responsibility, but rather a profound act of faith, a recognition that there are aspects of our lives, particularly those that cause us the greatest distress and rob us of our peace, that are ultimately beyond our control and are best entrusted to a higher power in our human nature. We often feel a strong need to be in control, to manage every aspect of our lives, to anticipate and prevent any potential difficulties. We can become deeply attached to our own plans and expectations, and when things do not unfold as we desire, we can experience significant anxiety and a loss of inner peace. We may find ourselves constantly worrying about the future, replaying past mistakes, or trying to micromanage situations that are simply beyond our influence. The weight of these perceived responsibilities can become crushing, leading to sleepless nights, racing thoughts, and a pervasive sense of being overwhelmed. We may that we should let go, yet the how of doing so remains elusive, feeling as though letting go is tantamount to losing all control, inviting chaos. The act of surrender invites us to release this need for control, to loosen our grip on the things that are causing us stress and unease. It is about acknowledging our limitations and recognizing that God's wisdom, power, and love are far greater than our own. It is about trusting that even when we cannot see the path ahead, even when circumstances seem chaotic or uncertain, there is a higher plan at work, a benevolent force that cares for us deeply and desires our well-being. This trust is not naive optimism, but a deep spiritual conviction that a loving intelligence guides the universe. And by aligning ourselves with this flow, we access a greater wisdom than our individual minds can ever contain. This means accepting that our perspective is limited, our understanding incomplete, and our capacity finite in contrast. God's perspective is infinite, His understanding perfect, and His capacity boundless. When we truly grasp this profound disparity, the act of surrender transforms from a difficult chore into a comforting embrace. Surrendering our burdens to God can take many forms. It might begin with a conscious acknowledgement of the specific worries and anxieties that are weighing heavily on our hearts. Take a moment now to bring to mind the things that are currently troubling you, the thoughts that are stealing your peace. Perhaps it is a concern about your health, a worry about your finances, a strain in your relationships, or an uncertainty about your future. Do these worries feel like a heavy cloak draped over your shoulders? Do they manifest as tightness in your chest, a furrow in your brow, or a persistent knot in your stomach? Be honest with yourself about their presence and their physical manifestation within your body. Do not judge them. Merely observe them as you identify these burdens. Imagine yourself gently placing them into the loving hands of God. Visualize God's hands as strong and capable, yet also infinitely gentle and compassionate. Picture them as vast as the heavens, capable of holding the weight of the entire world, and yet tender enough to cradle your most fragile fears. You might see these burdens as heavy stones, tangled threads, or swirling clouds of unease. As you mentally transfer them, imagine them transforming in His hands, perhaps dissolving into light, or simply becoming weightless. Know that God is fully capable of handling whatever you entrust to Him. no matter how heavy or complex it may seem. This act is not about forgetting or ignoring the problem, but about shifting the locus of responsibility for its resolution from your limited capacity to God's infinite power. It's an act of deep trust, saying, "I have done what I can, and now I release it to you." This act of surrender often involves prayer. You might speak directly to God, expressing your specific concerns and asking for guidance, strength, and peace. Be utterly transparent. Pour out every fear, every frustration, every perceived failure. There's no need to filter or censor your thoughts. God knows your heart better than you know yourself. You might pray for a release of your anxiety and a trust in God's will. You might simply offer up your worries in silence, knowing that your heartfelt intentions are understood even without words. Sometimes, the most profound prayers are those uttered without sound, simply a desperate reaching of the soul towards the divine. Surrender also requires a shift in our mindset. It involves letting go of our attachment to specific outcomes and trusting that God's plan for us is ultimately for our highest good, even if we cannot see it in the present moment. This can be challenging when our desires are strong, or when we believe we know what is best. However, true surrender understands that God's best is always immeasurably greater than our limited human understanding of what constitutes good. It means accepting that there will be challenges and difficulties in life, but that we do not have to face them alone. We can rely on God's strength and support to guide us through. This mindset shift is about choosing faith over fear, trusting that every twist and turn of life's path, even the most painful, is part of a larger, divinely orchestrated tapestry. This does not mean that we become passive or inactive in our lives. Surrender is not about giving up or abdicating our responsibilities. Rather, it is about acting with faith and trust, doing what we can to the best of our ability, and then releasing the outcome to God. It is about finding a balance between our own efforts and our reliance on divine guidance. For instance, if you are worried about a financial situation, you do what you can to earn, to manage, to save, but you release the outcome, the ultimate abundance or provision, into God's hands, trusting that He will provide according to His wisdom. This balance frees us from the paralyzing fear of failure and the exhausting pressure of needing to control every variable. We perform our part with diligence and then rest in the assurance of God's overarching care. The process of surrender can be a gradual one. We may find ourselves needing to consciously release the same burdens again and again. As our anxieties resurface, it requires patience, persistence, and a deep commitment to trusting in God's love and care. Think of it like waves gently washing over a shore. Each wave helps to smooth and reshape the sand. Similarly, each act of surrender, even if repetitive, gradually erodes the grip of anxiety and deepens your capacity for peace. It's a continuous practice, not a one-time event. Be gentle with yourself when old worries resurface. Simply acknowledge them and gently place them back into God's hands. As you practice surrendering your burdens and anxieties to God, you may begin to experience a profound sense of relief and liberation. The weight that you have been carrying can begin to feel lighter, as if a physical load has been lifted from your shoulders. The constant chatter of worry in your mind can begin to subside, replaced by moments of stillness and clarity. You may find a greater sense of inner calm and a deeper trust in the unfolding of your life, even amidst ongoing challenges. This newfound lightness often brings with it renewed energy, allowing you to engage with life more fully, not from a place of fear, but from a place of peace. This trust is not blind faith, but rather a growing confidence based on your experience of God's presence and faithfulness in your life. As you consistently turn to God in your times of need and witness His guidance and support, your ability to surrender will deepen. Each answered prayer, each unexpected provision, each moment of quiet reassurance builds a stronger foundation of trust that enables you to let go more completely in the future. It's a virtuous cycle. The more you surrender, the more you experience God's peace. And the more you experience God's peace, the easier it becomes to surrender. Remember that God desires your peace. The divine heart aches when we are burdened by worry and anxiety. By entrusting our peace to God, we are aligning ourselves with the divine will for our lives, which is one of wholeness, joy, and serenity. This act of surrender is an act of co-creation with the divine, inviting God to work within your life in ways you cannot fathom, leading you to a peace that surpasses all understanding. Take a moment now to identify one specific burden that you are currently carrying. In your mind, gently release it. Visualize yourself handing it over to God, knowing that it is now in loving and capable hands. Breathe deeply and feel the lightness that begins to emerge as you entrust your peace to the divine. This act of surrender is a powerful step towards cultivating lasting inner calm. Allow this feeling of relief to settle deep within you, anchoring you in the knowledge that you are held, you are loved, and you are not alone. Remember that God's peace is always available. It is not something you have to earn, but a gift freely given, a constant companion on your path. When the world feels turbulent, when anxieties try to creep back in, simply return to this moment. Recall the feeling of release, the quiet confidence of being held in God's unchanging love. Breathe deeply and let the truth of His peace permeate your entire being. This divine peace is not fleeting like worldly pleasures. It is an eternal spring, always ready to refresh and sustain you. Let its gentle current flow through your veins, calming every nerve, soothing every concern. As you transition back into your day, or as you prepare for a night of restorative sleep, carry this peace with you. Let it be a shield against worry, a light in uncertainty, and a gentle balm for your soul. You are loved, you are worthy, and you are forever connected to the source of all peace. May this inner tranquility guide your steps, illuminate your decisions, and fill your heart with an enduring sense of calm. Allow this newfound serenity to become the default setting of your spirit, the quiet anchor in your daily life. Go forth, not in striving, but in abiding. Go forth, knowing you are wrapped in God's boundless peace. Amen.